And bang! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Casey Gale, the owner, chairman, CEO of the National Wrestling Shooters. And today, I'm going to talk about my honest thoughts on Vince McMahon retiring from WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, and who I think should take over. Okay. You know, I've been watching wrestling as a whole since the 1980s and the 1990s. And I always thought that Vince McMahon was one of the greatest on-screen characters of our time. One of the greatest villains. Like J.R. Ewing from Dallas was one of the greatest TV villains of our time. Yes, J.R. Ewing from Dallas. Like he was one of the greatest TV villains of our time. Vince McMahon was one of the greatest heel authority figures of our time. Just the way he played that role. I mean, one of the greatest rivalries, in my opinion, of Vince McMahon was the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon feud from the Attitude Era. Just the way Stone Cold Steve Austin would go off on his boss, Vince McMahon, when he would hit him after stunner and beat him up. I also enjoyed Vince McMahon's feuds with Bret the Hitman Hart, The Rock, Triple H, Hulk Hogan. No matter who Vince McMahon feuded with, he always made it entertaining. And he always made you want to watch. I mean, Vince McMahon has owned the WWE from 1982 to 2022. He took over WWE after his father, Vince McMahon Sr. I mean, and you gotta admit, Vince McMahon changed the landscape of professional wrestling as a whole. Whether it was good, whether it was bad, no matter what Vince McMahon did, he always found a way to get people to tune in. I mean, the man is reaching 77 years old. But in my honest opinion, I thought that Vince McMahon should have retired from WWE a long time ago. I mean, and Vince McMahon did step down as CEO and chairman last month when all the sexual allegations were made against him. And I know, and a lot of people do find it very fishy that right now that Vince McMahon would announce his retirement from WWE, and his daughter Stephanie McMahon Levesque and Nick Khan are now going to be the co-CEOs of the WWE. Now, I did like Stephanie McMahon as an on-screen character when she was a heel, but in my opinion, she's definitely not the right choice to take over WWE, and neither is Nick Khan, and also Bruce Pritchard is head of WWE Creative. To me, that already is a bad sign. I mean, WWE has been absolutely horrible for decades, ever since WWE went PG. I mean, I will admit there were some great moments in the PG era, but not as great as it was in the Golden Era in the 1980s, the Attitude Era in the late 1990s, early 2000s, the Ruthless Aggression Era. I mean, you just can't top those moments. I'm going to say, if it wasn't for Paul Heyman's ECW, there would be no Attitude Era. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon and his creation, there would be no Hulk Hogan. There would be no Macho Man Randy Savage. There would be no Lex Luger. There would be no Ultimate Warrior. But there would be no Stone Cold Steve Austin. There would be no The Rock. There would be no Triple H. There would be no Undertaker. There would be no Kane. There would be no D-Generation X. All these ideas that Vince McMahon helped create. And yes, the Attitude Era was indeed created by Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara. And you got to admit, with the help of Vince McMahon, the Attitude Era is what made WWE watchable again. I mean, just so many moments in the Attitude Era, such as the Corporation, as I said earlier, D-Generation X. I mean, and what I also like about Vince McMahon, but this is more about Vince McMahon, retiring, my honest thoughts and opinions. And as I said, in my honest thoughts and opinions, as I said earlier in this video, he should have retired a long time ago. And who I think should take over, you all know where I'm going with this. None other than his son, Shane McMahon. Because I've always been a fan of Shane McMahon, and I think that Shane McMahon would definitely turn WWE around, because I know that Shane McMahon would hire the right creators, with the right creative directors, I mean, he would definitely push the right talent. But sadly, Shane McMahon was let go earlier because a lot of wrestlers were dissatisfied with his booking of the Royal Rumble, and I could see why. Like as I said, Shane McMahon got a little bit out of control. But the thing is, Shane McMahon was always an entertaining on-screen character. I mean, just the nasty bumps that Shane McMahon would take. You always wanted to watch a Shane McMahon match back in the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression. Even the Vince McMahon match. I mean, when Vince McMahon, I mean, just when he would wrestle, I mean, you were always entertained by it. My favorite Vince McMahon match of all time is Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17. That was just a great match. The performance that Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon put on in that ring, and especially when Vince McMahon came up with Trish Stratus and his daughter Stephanie McMahon, and Shane McMahon, and then when he brought his wife, when Vince McMahon brought his wife, Linda McMahon, out in a wheelchair, because in the storyline she was put in a home because they did a storyline in late 2000 where Vince McMahon yelled at Linda McMahon and said, "I want a divorce," and that was good creative writing in the Attitude Era. And the end result, the way Shane McMahon defeated his father at WrestleMania 17, Linda McMahon rising from a chair and kicking Vince McMahon in the bowels. I mean, that was pure A+ entertainment. No matter what Vince McMahon did as an on-screen character, whether you liked that, you were always entertained because he played the heel authority figure up to perfection. One of the greatest as I said earlier, one of the greatest villains of all time. I mean, Eric Bischoff was also a great heel authority figure in WCW in the NWO days, but I don't think anything can top the Mr. McMahon character. It's hard to top a character like that. Like I said, feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin, then feuding with The Undertaker, feuding with Triple H, feuding with The Rock, feuding with Hulk Hogan. No matter who he got into, and feuding with Bret the Hitman Hart. My other favorite Vince McMahon matches were when he wrestled Hulk Hogan. Him versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19. I mean, that was a great match because there was a lot of history telling in that match. I mean, Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan, they had heat, and they both blended. I also liked Vince McMahon, the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Vince McMahon at Royal Rumble 2002. That was another great match. I mean, both Ric Flair bled and Vince McMahon bled, and they put on an entertaining, classic, underrated match. Like, I also like when Vince McMahon would make his facial expressions when the way he would react to something. In my opinion, he was one of the kings of facial reactions in professional wrestling. I mean, and he sold it perfectly. I mean, the way he sold his first Stone Cold Stunner on WWE Monday Night Raw in 1997, when Stone Cold Steve Austin said, "You can kiss my ass," and he stunned him, and he started flopping up around like a jellyfish. That was crazy, but Vince McMahon always, it was funny. It was funny the way Vince McMahon sold the Stone Cold Stunner. But in my opinion, Shane McMahon sold the Stone Cold Stunner better than anybody, and even The Rock did. Now, do I think WWE is going to get better with Vince McMahon no longer being the owner, chairman, and CEO? I don't think so, because Bruce Pritchard, I mean, as I said, he is not a good choice. He is a bad choice, and it's been proven. It's been proven for many decades that Bruce Pritchard is not the perfect choice. I mean, he's a bad choice. He just is making WWE worse than it already is. It's as I said earlier, it has been absolutely horrible for decades. It's not going to get any better, in my opinion. I mean, professional wrestling as a whole is not as great as it used to be. Like, my favorite moment in professional wrestling as a whole was the Monday Night Wars. WWE versus WCW, which was WWF at the time. I mean, you cannot top the Monday Night Wars. I remember back in the late 90s, I would always watch WCW Monday Night Show, WWE. I would record them and I would watch them again the next day because that's how addicted I was to professional wrestling back in the day. I mean, because that's when they had creativity in professional wrestling. They had character development. They made you want to watch. They made you want to tune in. And they made you want to go ahead and talk to your friends about it. Sadly, we don't have that today. Even though that AEW is slightly better than WWE, and I say slightly, even that can't top the Monday Night Wars. Even AEW can't top what WWE and WCW and ECW did back in the 90s. Back when it was fun to watch. The first time I ever went to a WWE event was in late 1996. It was a house show, and I had fun. I had fun watching. My first ever Monday Night War I went to was in 1998. Was at the Over the Edge in 1998. The next day I went to a WWE War show, and I had fun. That's back when Vince McMahon was the classic heel, like he was. I mean, and I did dress up as Vince McMahon for Halloween on October 31st, 1998. I would always act like I was Vince McMahon because that's how much I loved his heel on-screen character. I mean, he knew what to say, and he knew how to make you hate him with a passion. Because Vince McMahon was one of those heel authority figures, one of those villain characters that you love to hate. Just like I said earlier, just like the late Larry Hagman's J.I. Ewing was one of those TV villains you love to hate on Dallas. Now, what's going to happen to Vince McMahon? I don't know, but it's not looking good for him. With all these sexual allegations made against him, and now deciding to retire, there's something fishy with the situation going on there, and it's definitely not looking very good for him. What's going to happen to him? Is he going to go to prison? I don't think he's going to go to prison, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Vince McMahon. But you got to give him respect for making WWE what it was back in the day. Making you want to watch him. Making you want to watch Vince McMahon, the Mr. McMahon character, get his ass whooped every day by Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Generation X, The Undertaker. I mean, the corporation, the corporate ministry. The Undertaker, who is one of the most respected wrestlers in WWE. And my favorite wrestler of all time. You cannot top what The Undertaker did. I mean, back in late 2001, when Vince McMahon created the Kiss My Ass Club, Roland Regal was one of the first members of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, and the next after that, it was Jim Watts, which I think was totally disrespectful for Vince McMahon to do, because he hasn't made out the best business decisions. There's a lot of bad business decisions that Vince McMahon has made as a whole, and he just, he is a genius, but I don't think he's the smartest guy out there. There's a lot more smarter wrestling promoters than Vince McMahon. But Vince McMahon, like I said, he would always find a way to make you stay interested and just the way he booked WWE back in the day when it was fun to watch. And now what? Anyway, yes, I just want to say happy retirement to Vince McMahon. Man, thank you, Vince McMahon, for making WWE what it was back in the day. Thank you, Vince McMahon, for your on-screen character. Thank you for for creating the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. Thank you for changing the landscape of professional wrestling as a whole. And thank you for everything you did in WWE. Thank you for making me a professional wrestling fan. Thank you for making me be a fan of Hulk Hogan, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the Macho Man Randy Savage, the Bushwhackers, the Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin, then The Rock, Triple H, The Undertaker, Kane, even the Big Show. Even though but I did like the Big Show when he was a giant in WCW. Thank you for bringing Eric Bischoff as one of the greatest general managers of our time back in from 2002 to 2005. Thank you for bringing Paul Heyman in the WWE. Thank you for bringing Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Thank you for the late Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the greatest commentary dudes of all time. Nobody can ever top Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. They were the best. The late Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the greatest managers of all time and the greatest color commentators of all time. You can't top what Bobby the Brain Heenan did. And once again, Vince McMahon, thank you for playing one of the greatest heel authority figures of our time. Thank you for the Austin versus McMahon feud. Thank you for making us love the hate your character. You did a tremendous job playing that role. As I said, thank you for everything. Thank you for giving us what we wanted back in the day. Comment down below in the comment section and tell me your favorite Vince McMahon moment and what you liked about it. Good. And comment down below in the comment section and tell me your favorite Vince McMahon match, your favorite Vince McMahon rivalry. Anyway, thank you for watching. You stay classy, live long and prosper, and peace out.